What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get into the Thursday action in the major leagues. We'll talk the best bets. So we'll have three of them for you guys today to kind of get you through this Thursday and into the weekend. I'm Mark. For those of you that do not know, welcome into TBM Sports, otherwise known as the Bettor Mark. And I do appreciate all my returning subscribers, channel members, all that good stuff. And yes, we did have a profitable day yesterday. We'll talk about kind of what we have going on. But if you're new to the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join us. We only have 9 games on this slate. So let's run the board and get into the best bets. We will use Outlier to break this all down. And Outlier is my trusted platform, finding the best odds, edges, and lines out there within a lot of betting opportunities. Do not overpay for your bet, okay? This one has all these sports books that you do use online. Even though I place the majority of my tickets in person, in paper, this is kind of where you still want to be able to compare them. And also for live betting and in-game situations and hedging opportunities, there really truly isn't anything better than Outlier. Links down below for a 7-day free trial. Check it out. Even if you don't like it, cancel anytime. But there's no reason to be kind of logging into different apps and wasting your time in that way. So check it out. Like I said, that link will be down below. Okay, so let's talk about yesterday a little bit. Kind of an interesting day as we did cash the 2 bets, but the latter play I did with the total runs in the Pittsburgh-Milwaukee game was kind of derailed as a 4-run effort from the Milwaukee Brewers going against Skeens, as Skeens' record continues to plummet. All right, so there's been a lot of talk and conversation about Skeens as we look at kind of the 4-7 record, despite having a 2.12 ERA early on in the season. If we're going to be able to have any Cy Young candidacy with such a losing record, we see that every once in a while. But we look at Mizorowski, okay, goes to 3-0 on the year, 1.13 ERA. I think he gave up, I want to say, 4 hits, maybe 5 hits, okay, or maybe it was 3 hits. Let me just double check this real quick, because it has been very impressive with this young gun there and it's funny to note that both of these pitchers are in the same division in the NL, so we'll look for these young arms to blossom throughout their careers. Kind of interested to see where this one goes, okay, and he did give up 2 hits, okay, over 5 innings, and he had a couple walks, so there was some control issues, but my man, in the month of June, 3 starts since making his debut. Went against St. Louis, the Twins, in Pittsburgh. Not necessarily the best clubs in terms of offense. Cardinals maybe in his first start, but he gives you 5+ innings. And Mizorowski, for what it's worth, a 0.61 average allowed to hitters in his first 3 major league starts. So very excited about this young man. And that's kind of what we got yesterday, okay? But it's unfortunate. The Milwaukee Brewers scored 4 in the second, but the handicap was correct. The total was 6.5, and we did see a 4-2 game. So taking the under in that regard ended up being profitable. However, we did push on this on the 6, lost on the 5, and lost on the 4 at plus 400. But those were quarter unit plays, so still a very profitable day as it all broke down. We cashed in the bet that we had with the over in the Blue Jays and Guardians, over 8.5 at even money, and the Rays minus 125 on the money line. They're going to stay hot, so let's keep this momentum going into the weekend. The first game I want to talk about, Tanner Beebe and the likes of, I believe it's Gossman going for the Blue Jays in Cleveland, okay? We look at kind of the game, winds blowing in, so I'm going to stay away from this total. We see it set at 7.5, a little bit of a outlier, as we have seen some high expectations and runs in the first 2 matchups between these clubs. And it was interesting to note the Blue Jays going over basically 8 runs or more in 8 of their last 10, and the Guardians under 8 runs in 8 of their last 10. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think Cleveland does kind of have the edge in this game, minus 115. That's where I would lay, but no play for me officially. I'm going to stay away from this one just because of the wind, and I do think that we've rode this over. We're not going to keep that one going, so this will be a pass. Tigers and Athletics, I do look for the Tigers to bounce back. I think it's actually a short money line price, minus 162 at home. We talk about Comerica Park when we look into the wind. Not enough to kind of influence the game. High humidity, a little bit maybe of a rain, a little kind of humid showers we may get later on in the evening, but I do think that very modest at best. Nothing to drive me in terms of betting the total. Set at 8.5. I'm going to stay away from this game as well, but I would lean Tigers on a short. This would be a not the bat in the ninth inning bet for me if I was going to get involved. Shout out to the Tigers, 50-31 on the season. So let's keep that one going. Very nice kind of AL Central battle we have going on at the top. Next game, the Twins and the Mariners, okay? This is where we're going to look into an official play. Emerson Hancock going for the M's. And I do think that we look for the Mariners to continue their success. Offensively, them and the Rays have been two of the clubs that I have been targeting and featuring. They've been hitting the ball exceedingly well in the month of June. And I think that as we look at kind of the opposition, the Simeon Woods-Richardson start that we will be getting, 2-4 on the year, 5+ ERA after making his, getting called back up to the bigs. I think this one does lend towards the conversation that, hey, I think that the Twins may get a little bit of a reckoning here. I do like the Mariners on the money line. I think the number's wrong. Plus 102. They've won 6 of their last 10 games, and the Mariners off of a loss. I do look for a bounce back spot as we have seen their games go over the total before yesterday that they lost 3-0, I believe. We have seen I believe that game was 3-0. Let me just double check before I get too far ahead of myself. It's hard to kind of memorize all this stuff, but I think I got it going in the right direction. Now I apologize. It was 2-0 on the Twins win yesterday. I look for a bounce back game for the Mariners. Okay, so plus 102, very cheap price. They have seen the totals for both of these clubs go over 8.5 very consecutively. Okay, so before yesterday, the Twins, we saw 9 runs or more in their contests in 7 of their last 9 games, and the Mariners, conversely, they did 5 straight games over 9 runs or more. Okay, so kind of lend towards the over. Personally, that's not a bad play either. So minus 120, 8.5, that's where I would lend. But I think the Mariners plus 102 is a little bit better value. So let's back Emerson Hancock. I think that his mean, when you do look at his starts, I expect a little bit better performance in that outlier we saw where he did kind of have a doozy. But as we look at this game, the last kind of nugget I want to drop on you guys is the fact that we do see the wind blowing in. So I am going to stay away from that total, and I do lend towards the likes of the Seattle Mariners. Okay, so that will be my first official play. Tampa Bay and Kansas City, we get Shane Baz going against Lorenzen. Lorenzen, 4.81 ERA. I kind of lend towards the direction of the Rays, minus 120 on the money line. But I found a little bit of a better bet, okay? And we are going to dabble into the prop market. We're going to take Brandon Lau, okay? Just to get a single at minus 130, ESPN bet. You look at kind of yesterday, he had 2 hits, 2 singles to be exact, okay? And that's kind of where you look at this prop, all right? It's cashed in 9 of his last 10 games. Outside of that June 18th game against Baltimore, he'd be on a 10-game hitting streak, okay? And I think that's where you look and kind of where we're at. And he actually is on a 10-game hitting streak. Forgive me, he actually did have a hit. It just was not a single, okay? So if you go look into getting a hit, that number is minus 300. However, if you do reduce this to a single, you can find that juice at minus 130. It's hit in 90% of his last 10 games, a plus matchup as well. Look for the Rays bats to stay hot. So give me Brandon Lau over a single at minus 130, okay? Next game that we are going to talk about, this will be the likes of the Phillies and Astros. This will be my last official play as we look at this game. Great pitching matchup. Okay, couldn't ask for a better one here. 2:10 first pitch, Hunter Brown and Christopher Sanchez. You can look into the earned runs for these pitchers if you want to get involved that way. But me personally, guys, we can find this in terms of the total, okay? Right now, I'm taking an alternate total minus 105, almost even money. So we do get that push insurance at 7. I'm going to go Phillies-Astros under the total of minus 105, all right? And as we look at these games, you know, the wind's blowing out a little bit. It's not enough to kind of drive me into a, hey, this is going to be a slugfest. But just looking at these scores and kind of what we've seen from both of these clubs, you want to kind of get into that conversation within the likes of the Phillies and I'm going to pull it up here. The Phillies and Astros, as we've seen in these recent games, okay, basically 0-2, 0-1. So the 2 runs and 1 run respectively. Look for the Phillies to kind of end this madness and get a win on the board as the Houston Astros go for a sweep here. But I think this is one where we're going to definitely go under 7 at minus 1. minus 105 will be my last official best bet for today's card. We'll talk about the other games. Cubs and Cardinals. I'm not going to get involved. Imananga going against Palante. This is kind of where I would lean towards the Cubs. If you want to look at these numbers, you can see the Cubs on the road, minus 135, minus 134. We'll talk about kind of where the money's at. It is all on the Cubs. I think this is a good spot. Minus 134, some value. The one thing about the Cardinals, though, they have won 7 of their last 10 games. Coming off a loss, Cubs look to stay hot, win back-to-back games against the Cardinals in division. So I would lean Cubs minus 134, possibly even the Imananga prop to record a win. Does have some better juice. That's kind of where I would lean as well. Okay. Dodgers and Rockies, we'll talk about that one. This has been one where, hey, if you've been betting the Dodgers on the run line, you've been profitable. Okay, they've covered that in 3 of their last 3. The total set at 11.5. Clayton Kershaw looks to go 4-0 going against Austin Gomber, 8.38 ERA. I just think that the Dodgers, there's really no way, in my personal opinion, that we don't see the Dodgers win this game by margin. However, at a minus 180 price at the run line value, we're not going to get involved. There's just no value in that. If the Dodgers were at home, we could dabble with some interesting things. But for me, guys, this is a pass unless you want to back the Dodgers minus 2.5. Dodgers team total as well. You can kind of see how that will be. I haven't looked at it, but I will just tell you guys, I'll bring it up real quickly. We'll go into the team props and the total runs. You can see kind of the Dodgers. You're going to have to lay 8 runs to get a profitable price. If the minus 154 at 6.5, if this was a little bit lower, I would get involved, but I'm not going to lay over 7.5 runs at plus 104. However, I do think that is a very likely occurrence. Okay. I'll save the best for last, but the Braves, Mets, we'll talk about that. The coin flip game, we do get the Mets minus 112 on the money line. Griffin Cannon going against Grant Holmes. For me, guys, this is kind of a sneaky play here on the Mets. They have kind of bounced back into form. If we want to talk about kind of the Mets here, they did win yesterday, but that was only their first win in, you look at kind of how they've been struggling. 2 wins in their last 10 games. First win against Atlanta. Sneaky play on the side of the Mets, but I do think that we will see some runs expected in this game, so I would lean over the total of 8.5 at Citi Field. That would be my best bet for that game. All right. The last one I save for last is, it's not an official play, but if you guys are out there looking for a home run, this will be on the heels of the Giants and Marlins game, as we do get the crazy Jansen Junk, 2-0, 2.60 ERA going against Hayden Birdsong, 3-1, 3.25 ERA. Great pitching matchup. Okay, so let's go a little contrarian here. This is not an official play. I'm not going to put my stamp on this one, but I just see some value in it. Okay, I just have a propensity to kind of lean towards this game going in the direction of a lot of runs. Getaway day. It's in San Francisco. You talk about kind of the weather that we're going to be getting. The wind's blowing dead out the center, 8 mile per hour winds. The recent matchups that we did see 8-5 and 4-2 respectively. Yesterday, we got an 8-5 win for the Miami Marlins, and the Marlins have taken 2 consecutive games from the Giants, looking for the sweep. They've been hitting the baseball kind of sneaky, and I think that in this game, there is a very strong case to be made that we do get kind of what we saw yesterday. And that's where I'm going to look into the over, the alternate total here, okay? The over 11 prop at plus 333. I think there's some extreme value in this one. Okay, so over 11 runs plus 333. It's kind of a home run, long shot kind of play out there. It's nothing that I'm going to wager a full unit on. I'm probably not even going to bet it, but I just think that if you were going to play this game, it's kind of hard to pick Giants, Marlins, bet against the Marlins, winning 2 straight, betting against the Giants, or betting on the Giants at home to kind of win a rubber match. I just think this is a better way to go about it. Plus 333 if you do want to get involved. Alternate total here for the Marlins, Giants. It's a sneaky bet, kind of contrarian, as a lot of people do forecast it under, but I think this is something where, as you look at it, we'll kind of talk about how this has been played out. The Marlins, okay, have only hit this in 10 of their, I want to kind of pull it up for you guys here, and we will find a way to do this, okay? I think you have to do it this way. Okay, so in their last 5 games, okay, this is kind of where you look at the over-under 11. The Giants have hit this in 4 of their last 10 games, going over the total of 11 or more. The Marlins, conversely, they've only been, it's 1-9-1 for 11 runs or more. So little sneaky play. Like I said, guys, this is a long shot. I'm not going to say this is a automatic bet. But I just think there is some value if you want to take alternate total in the Marlins-Giants game, okay? So appreciate you guys all tuning in. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us. Quick recap of the official plays. We're going under 7, Philly in Houston, minus 105. Mariners plus 102 on the money line. And Brandon Lau, we're going to take him over a single at minus 130. All right, so new feature we're going to be rolling out here. Leave a comment down below, okay? And in that comment, I want to know what the bet will be. We're going to try to do a little team bet function here on the channel, and whatever bet that you guys roll out that gets the most interaction, the most likes, that will be the team bet that I will feature in the next video. So leave a comment down below what you guys will be betting. We'll try to do this for a while. We tried doing some things to kind of take the lull out of the baseball grind from time to time. Last year, we did the Discord play of the day. If you guys aren't a member of the Discord, it's completely free to join. Links are down below for that. But we will kind of feature this for a little bit, see how it goes, see what kind of traction we get. But like I said, leave your best bet down below. And the one that does get the most traction, the one that is kind of most picked by the audience, we will roll that with a TBM Sports. That will be the play, the community play, if you will. We'll kind of come up with a fancy name. Leave a comment if you guys have any ideas for that, and we'll feature that moving forward, kind of see how that one goes. All right, so thank you all for watching. As always, appreciate all my returning subscribers. Like I said, if you're not a member of the channel, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button. It's completely free to do so. And good luck on your picks. Enjoy it. We'll see you guys all tomorrow in the next video. Cheers.